So yesterday I saw this tweet made by one of my buddies, Vox, talking about Star Vs and how the show was generally frowned upon despite having a lot of good in it. And it really got me thinking. When it comes to talking about media, especially cartoons, people are always very quick to highlight the negative without giving any thought to the positive aspects of something. Like, lots of flaws are quick to come to light, but when the same thing does something worth praising, no one really stands up. This leads to a lot of shows getting shoved off to the side and forgotten, just regarded as bad, stupid, or waste of time. And for me, that's not good enough. You see, I don't think anything is truly all bad. Now that doesn't mean that I'm not critical or my taste is bad. It also doesn't mean that I give shows a free pass if they do something I like. What it means is that I like to think about those things on equal terms. When a person makes something, be it a comic, a movie, a cartoon, never is it created with the intention of being bad. There are a lot of factors that go into creating media. Manpower, budget, creative freedom. But the cold hard truth is that people want to make good things. And when that thing comes out, and someone popular trashes it with no thought, that can lead to people simply ignoring it, instead of experiencing it for themselves and seeing if they like it. This has happened to me with a ton of shows I like, back when my opinion of things used to shift with the crowds. Take for example, Naruto. I'm not gonna sit here and act like Naruto is this holy grail of manga and anime, but there was a time where I used to follow it religiously, and then eventually, I fell off of it. Because everyone around me was crying out, "Man, Naruto sucks, worst thing ever, baby anime." And I believed them. I let them change my opinion without even checking to see if they were right. And I joined in, making fun of a series I'd never even bothered to finish. A series that had once meant so much to me. But I recently went back and read all of the stuff I missed out on. And while I was expecting a mediocre mess of a manga, instead, I got a very competent shonen story, with some great characterization in Naruto Uzumaki. I also got a very shaky ending and a lackluster final arc. I got something good, and I got something I found bad. I got to see Naruto after his fight with Pain, and his acceptance from the village that had hated him. How he had matured and grown, and it felt really genuine. I also had to sit through chapter after chapter of Sasuke being a twat, and a pointless secret endgame boss. And you know what? I like Naruto. A lot. It's not flawless, but there is a lot to appreciate, and I almost didn't get to appreciate it because of the lack of nuance shown towards it. The same thing happened with shows like Adventure Time and Star Vs. Both of these shows had a ton of praise heaped on them, and eventually when cracks began to show, people hopped ship before they even saw the iceberg. And you know what? It turns out there really wasn't one. Adventure Time had a very rocky season that I really didn't like, but I came back to see that it really found its footing towards the end, crafting some of the best emotional moments and background storytelling I've seen in animation. Even the finale, which divided a lot of the people, to me, just that montage at the end, I think made it worth watching. Star Vs did a lot of things I didn't like in the final season. I didn't like the relationship between Star and Marco, and I didn't like that the ending felt so selfish. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the entire show was garbage. The show was funny, well animated, stunning at times, and just plain fun. A 3-hour YouTube essay about why it's bad doesn't make you sound smart, it makes you sound long-winded. People just seem to love negativity. It's why people like Mr. Enter and Doug Walker rose to fame. But somewhere along the way, people like that seem to form the opinion of the masses. Good and bad do not cancel each other out. We can see both for what they are. We need to stop being afraid to call a good thing a good thing. Because when you just call something bad and leave it at that, a discussion can't form, and that's what I love about media. There is a reason why I focus on the positives in my channel. Heck, there's only really one negative review on my channel. There's a reason why I put hours of work into talking about things like Lunatics Unleashed and Hero 108. It's because there are people behind those things that really try and give you something good. I'm tired of people living in this hyperbolic mindset of black and white. Media is not just the sum of its parts, and we should celebrate the good along with criticizing the bad. I understand that animation already has a lot of stigmas thrown at it, but that doesn't mean we have to throw away everything that doesn't fit the mold of groundbreaking new series. At the same time, that goes for stuff that is seen as flawless. Steven Universe is a series that pushes the boundary with representation and gave us characters that I'll remember for a lifetime. It also had pacing issues and a lot of sloppy animation. Gravity Falls was a master of long-form storytelling and ignited the passion of discovery for so many. It also had a lot of flawed character writing and a Deus Ex Machina ending. I think Samurai Jack is the greatest thing ever put to television, and the last few episodes of the final season were lackluster at best. But I'm not going to forget the masterpiece that was episode 2 of season 5. I'm not going to forget Northwest Mansion Mystery or Jailbreak, or the Rock Lee vs. Gaara fight, Ludo in the Wild, or Remember Me. Nothing is above criticism, but we shouldn't all be scrambling to have the best hot take or pretend that we woke up and decided to hate something for clout. You don't have to be a fan of everything, but don't watch one episode or zoom in on a bad episode of something and go racing to YouTube or Twitter to yell why insert here is garbage and here's why. Even when I talked about more negative shows like Thundercats Roar, I at least made sure to highlight one thing I liked. I always want to like what I'm watching, and not everything has to be immaculate. I can like BoJack Horseman and Dragon Ball Z. It doesn't make my opinion any less valid. I just have more stuff to watch. Don't let the bad cloud your vision from the good. It doesn't erase it. Seahorse Seashell Party doesn't get rid of Brian Wallows and Peter Swallows. A few bad seasons of The Simpsons doesn't change the fact that that show changed television forever. If I hadn't given stuff a chance, I would have missed out on some really good stuff. I wouldn't have experienced Rise of the TMNT, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, or even BoJack Horseman. This is why I respect my friend Benzie so much. I joke around with him a lot, but I genuinely admire the passion he brings for shows that most people would toss aside like table scraps. His tastes might be weird to me, but he finds worth in stuff people bat their eyes at, and I think that's great. So, at the end of the day, I'm not telling you to lower your standards, or force yourself to watch anything you don't want to. All I'm saying is have a little nuance, because nothing is all bad.